I would say tuberose that I like. I like fruity notes also. I love vanilla, and perhaps something I was a little reluctant to do, venture a little into the family of ouds. Everybody does it, I know. But for example, when I launched Cuir Garamond, which is not an oud but a woodsy, papery fragrance, it was love at first. I mean, I immediately love this sort of fragrance. But it's difficult. What I would like to do also perhaps is come back to the basics and do something very French, classic French fragrances, without all incense, without smoky notes, without notes of ham or fish or you name it. Something, basic, simple and good, a good flowery fragrance. That would be an achievement. I would love to. I'm testing samples currently, and I have a few, and I am not convinced yet they are good enough. So, or they have not already been interpreted in this sort of manner. So, it takes time. It takes time, and I cannot. First, I have time, at least, to develop things at my own pace. Something I cannot do is ask a perfumer, please, give me 6 new fragrances for the end of the week. Something I cannot do. It happens a lot, but I don't do that. So, and each fragrance that I add to the line is the result of a personal choice also. Do you like chocolate cakes? Okay, so there are chocolate cakes everywhere, but the ones I like is this one. So it's my sort of chocolate cake. Okay, so it's very personal in the end. The thing is, if you try to please everybody, the broadest audience possible, finally you reach nobody and you don't touch anyone in particular. So these things take time, and you have to be cautious and honest. And when the right fragrance is not ready, it's not ready. It could be foolish or dangerous to try to launch it at any price. No, there is no rush. No need. I even have a retailer in Ireland, for example, who begged me not to release any new fragrance. Because they don't need a new fragrance. They need to work well with those they have. So you have sometimes some places where you, please, what's new? We need something new, because people think you are dead because you didn't release a new fragrance this year. No, I'll add a new fragrance when I think it's good enough and ready. The most pleasant moment is when I can exchange with the perfumer and something happens, and then it's the creative part is the most pleasant. I can promise you that all the accounting and administration that go with running a fragrance company is horrendous, but the creative part, working on the box, on the bottles, I like bottles, I like objects, and working on a fragrance and trying to communicate with the perfumer and seeing that he understands my idea. This is very pleasant. It's like when you walk the stairs for the first time, it's going to happen. Yes, I'm going to have a new fragrance, and in most cases, it doesn't work, because you think that you're given a few sort of sample, and on the moment you seem to be very happy, but after a second thought, after a while, you say, oh wow, finally, it's not as good as I thought. It changes on my skin, that the base notes are not exactly what I thought. Oh my God, there is a hole in the middle of the formula. Oh, the head notes are completely gone. It doesn't stay, or it smells bizarre. It's a scrubber. It's really, I think the proportion is out of 100 samples, perhaps those in the end that I would keep, perhaps 1 or 2. But it's a decision that is full of consequences. So it's not easy. But it's the way I see things. Other perfumers or the people or the brands can have a different approach. Maybe the other approach is to launch as many as possible and see where the pieces fall, and one of them is going to work because there are so many. one is likely to reach a target somewhere, somehow. So, it's tricky. Well, when I think it dates back to 2006 or 7, Lucas Turin wrote in his World Guide of Perfumes that Invasion Barbare was one of the 3 best fragrances of its kind ever on the face of Earth. So that's what he said. I mean, I never met him, I don't know him. But the minute I smelled this particular scent, I knew you have this this ouch factor. Oh, it's fantastic. It's you know during the presentation I talked meeting Mrs. Right or Mr. Right. You know at first smell. Oh, this one is for me. This one's wonderful. Others are so. This one, wow, I have to have it. You know immediately. You know I say. What is a pretty girl? You know it. There is no recipe. There is no equation. But when you see a pretty girl, you know she's pretty. She's different. She has something. Maybe she's not perfect. She has a long nose or a bit, but she's the one.